You mentioned that you anticipated, obviously, the Aces would want to throw the first punch tonight, but what did you feel like was the differentiating factor between, game one versus game two?
We didn't throw any.
I mean, it feels like a physical game every game. Feels like it's been a physical season. But yes, I think, I feel like I've been on the ground a little bit more this series so far. But we just keep getting back up, so that's all you can really say.
I mean, the reality is they came in and they were physical and they dictated, and we were on our heels and we were passive and we were reactive to everything. We 28 points off of turnovers, 14 points off of offensive rebounds. I mean, they're too good.
Game 3 wasn't basketball. It felt like daylight robbery. Imagine fighting through pain, dropping a double-double, and locking down one of the league's biggest stars, only to have whistles erase everything.
Lexie, obviously you were a late add to the injury report today. Just how are you feeling this morning with your back, and what do you have to do to be able to play?
I mean, I'm feeling sore still.
Can't spot him 42. We've just gotta be able to handle that. I mean, they've been world champions for a reason. They have a mentality that they know exactly how to compete at this stage and at this level. And we've got to be able to respond, and we've got to be able to rise to that challenge.
But I think just a lot of treatment, trying to get, our bodies as ready as we can be. Part of playoffs, I think, for everyone is it's the end of the season. Everyone's a little fatigued, everyone's a little sore.
That's what Lexie Hull and the Fever went through in Las Vegas. But why do so many fans believe this game was stolen, not lost? And what moments made the Gainbridge crowd furious? Today, we're breaking down the exact plays, the ignored reviews, and the gutsy performance that turned Hull into the symbol of Indiana's fight against a game that didn't feel fair at all. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Getting me ready for tonight, but it'll be a good rest day tomorrow. But I think that's, for everyone. We're just pushing through. So just trying to go out there and do the best I can. A lot of treatment with our trainers. I'm really thankful for them to spend a lot of time with me today, a lot of time with me yesterday. Yeah, we're excited. I know the last time it was the first playoff game in a really long time, so to be able to have two more for our fans that have been there with us all season, I'm really excited for that, and we definitely do feed off of their energy, so we're really looking forward to it.
What does it look like when one player risks her body against all odds only to have her effort erased by decisions off the court? That's exactly what we saw from Lexie Hull in Game 3. She wasn't even supposed to be on the floor. Hours before tip-off, she was still listed as questionable with a sore back that had fans wondering if she'd sit out. Instead, she taped it up, laced her shoes, and walked onto the court ready to put everything on the line. And from the opening minutes, you could tell she wasn't coasting. She was fighting. Despite wincing and grabbing her side at times, she did absolutely everything. She fought on the glass, chased loose balls, and somehow came out with one of the best nights of her career. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. A double-double in the middle of pain. There were stretches where she reached for her lower back after running the floor, but then seconds later she'd pick up a defensive assignment against a scorer nobody else wanted to face. That's toughness you can't measure. Defensively, her role was brutal but vital.
Steph, why don't you think you were able to find any flow? And when that was the case, what are you trying to do to jumpstart things, maybe on the defense?
And that's a challenge. They were much more aggressive and physical defensively. We didn't counter that with our off-ball actions or with our back cuts. So it's hard for us to find flow when there's a foul call every 10 seconds. I mean, it just really is. And when they're at the free throw line, we can't get up and down the floor.
She spent most of the night matched with Vegas top wings and even switched onto Aya Wilson, forcing her into one contested jumper after another. Wilson finished 6 for 20 from the field. It wasn't just Aaliyah Boston holding the paint. It was Hull using every ounce of energy to frustrate her. It's wild, because you don't expect the player playing through injury to also take on the job of slowing down the best player in the league. And here's the stunner. That game tied a Fever playoff record for back-to-back games hitting multiple threes. This wasn't just guts. It was history. Fans didn't just watch numbers. They watched defiance. But the way this story turned, it wasn't Vegas greatness that broke Indiana's run. It was the sound of a whistle. Imagine clawing your way into a lead only for it to swing on a single call. The Fever had battled their way back into rhythm.
I mean, the physicality won. She's like a little pinball. I know that the museum's right down the street, so sometimes I feel like she's getting pinged around everywhere. So they took us out of our comfort zone. I mean, offense is about rhythm, it's about timing, it's about spacing. We allowed them to do that, and they kept us from doing it. And also, she's played heavy minutes for us. I thought she looked a little fatigued. Some shots that she typically makes that she didn't. Obviously, their attention was AB and Kelsey, and deservedly so. But we were passive.
The crowd was on its feet, and energy was flying through Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Then it happened. An illegal screen was whistled on Aya Wilson. On paper, that should have been a break for Indiana. The bench and coaches immediately tried to throw the challenge. Hands waving, players pointing, even fans in the first few rows signaling for it. But the refs didn't even look. No nod, no acknowledgement, just silence, and the game rolled forward like nothing had happened. The Gainbridge crowd erupted with boos. You could feel the frustration boil over.
I mean, the reality is they came in and they were physical and they dictated, and we were on our heels and we were passive and we were reactive to everything. We 28 points off of turnovers, 14 points off of offensive rebounds. I mean, they're too good.
Social media lit up instantly, with people saying the moment was flat out rigged. Clips of the play spread around within minutes, fans calling it everything from unfair to suspicious. Imagine sitting in that building, seeing your team denied the chance to even review a call while the season's hanging by a thread. That's gasoline on the fire, and it got worse. On the very next possession, Chelsea Gray drilled a three from the wing. Just like that, momentum flipped. Indiana went from believing they had leverage to staring at a Vegas run. Meanwhile, the whistles kept favoring the Aces. They marched to the line again and again while Indiana's drives, bumps, and strips were either ignored or dismissed as incidental contact. Fans clung to ball don't lie moments whenever Vegas missed free throws. But the bigger story was the gap. The free throw count stretched wider and wider, painting the picture of a series tilted in one direction. This wasn't about a single missed call anymore. It felt like a pattern. And those whistles didn't just take away points. They shattered pace. They froze Indiana's best stretches and shifted the spotlight back toward Vegas' depth instead of Indiana's defense. Which leaves the real question. If the whistles decided Game 3, how does Indiana respond when everything is on the line in Game 4? Lexie Hull showed that sometimes grit matters more than numbers. She pushed through pain, grabbed boards, hit shots, and locked down stars. But no matter how much energy she put in, the whistles shaped what fans walked away talking about. That's the frustrating part. So what do you think? Was this game actually lost by the Fever, or was it taken out of their hands by the officiating? Drop your thoughts and tell me your Game 4 prediction in the comments. Because with Hull, Boston, and 17,000 fans behind them, Indiana still has the chance to flip this script.